So if you want to actually look at the physical effect or the physical area of the brain that inspiration takes place in, it's I believe it's called the anterior temporal gyrus, and it's based just above your right ear on the right hand side. And that there is a burst of gamma waves in this area, and before that happens there's a burst of alpha waves near the back of the head, which essentially is your visual cortex. That's where all of your visual inputs are processed, and the effect of the alpha waves is essentially to turn off your brain for a second, or at least your visual cortex, so that it's like blinking but in the brain. And at this point, when the gamma waves burst from the anterior temporal gyrus, that's the moment of inspiration. That's when an idea or various ideas come together to bring you that solution. And what happens at that moment when you have your brain blink, as I call it, is that you get a vision of something. You see something very, very briefly in your mind's eye, and your mind's eye is a whole nother topic. But essentially, the cinema of your mind, or the cinema screen of your mind, is actually located in your pineal gland, which is also a very, very fascinating part of the brain. It contains lots of rods and cones, just like your eye does, just like the retina of your eye. So it can process images, or at least it can. It has the receptors for images, but there's no visible means for light to actually get into the pineal gland, because it's actually located right at the very center of your brain. So it's probably one of the oldest parts of your brain. But the fact that there are rods and cones there suggests that obviously there are images that occur, and I believe that the theory is that when you see things in your imagination, or when you're dreaming, this is where the visions are played out. This is where you see them. So fascinating part of the brain. But yeah, so by disengaging your logic and by doing something mundane, you have allowed this creative process to surface. And it really is a case of surfacing, because the answers are always there, but you might not necessarily have been able to put them together. And this is where I have a bit of a bone to pick even with the word creative, because I really don't believe that we are creative or creators, as lots of New Age philosophy, New Age thinkers have you believe. I believe we're more inventors, we're more sculptors, we're directors, but we haven't ever created anything. If you said to anybody, create something, they would have to take existing materials or existing ideas, put them together to form whatever it is that you've asked them to create. But it's not creation, you're just inventing something, you're putting something together, you're manufacturing something with various parts. So I believe we're more inventors. And so yeah, by disengaging that logical part of the brain, you've allowed this creative idea to surface. And that is how we really need to be thinking more. We need to, and this is why it's so important to actually learn how to use the mind, how to use the brain, and learn how to learn even. These are really essential skills. I mean, it's your brain is something you use every single day, but it's surprising how little we all know about it. And even myself, I mean, up until very, very recently, I didn't really look into this in any great depth. But since I've looked into it, it's really given me an insight into how I should be structuring my time, how I should be taking regular breaks, which might seem like really, really trivial stuff that a lot of people do anyway. But now that I understand the process, it gives me all the more reason to refer back to it and actually do it now. So this is why knowledge can be so powerful. It empowers you to do something when you understand something. So yeah, learn how to learn. Learn about history, learn about your roots, learn about your past, learn why it is that you are where you are, and you'll be able to advance further. And I'll probably do another video about your historic momentum, or momentum that you've built up through the course of maybe generations in your family or throughout the course of history. I really believe that there's a definite energy signature in people through their bloodlines, through the places that they work and live in, and these are all momentums that we can start riding like a wave, and we can use this momentum to further pursue advancements in whatever field it is that we choose. So yeah, I think that's enough for now for this video. So learn how to use your brain. Very, very, very important. Signing off.